This is my second VideoBrains, so thank you for having me. So I am going to read notes because I'm just really bad at remembering. So by day, I fuck around on the internet for the cycling industry, and by night I organise computer game burlesque shows. I'm organising another one here at the end of November, so come and talk to me afterwards if you're interested. So I hope you're all ready for something scary.
Matt.
Oh.
I am a 30-year-old woman. I don't own a TV or a Netflix account. I don't even have Crunchyroll. I sold all of my computer game consoles when I was 18 years old. I used to have a PlayStation 2, I used to have an N64, I used to have a Sega Saturn, and they're like fucking worth something now. Wait, I'm still being spooky, okay. I don't play computer games anymore. I watch other people play computer games. I watch people play horror games. So this talk is about, I was going to call it no play because actually it's about let's plays. So yeah, this talk is I wanted to kind of do this talk because I've been working and thinking about this for a long time. But, oh yes, I was going to say, I have watched the Let's Play of a Let's Play game, but we'll talk about that. So this is the first time in a room full of people, I'm going to admit that in my spare time, I predominantly watch Let's Plays. I predominantly watch people play horror Let's Plays. So this talk is going to be about sharing my gross habits, what I've learned from kind of watching these videos, how I actually feel way more connected to YouTubers than I ever have with TV or Netflix or Crunchyroll. So if you want to watch TV, that's fine. If you want to watch Gogglebox, that's fine. But I hope in this talk you're going to find something a little bit more interesting that's going on YouTube. I'm going to discuss some of the YouTubers that I like to watch, what they're doing right now, the communities that they've created and that they're a part of. And maybe I'm going to just kind of stress, I don't know if this is important or not, but the importance of YouTubers and Let's Plays. So, the voyeuristic approach to watching people play games has been around for a long time. It started for me with Skyrim. Me and my ex would play Skyrim together. I would bark orders at him of where we were going to go and what we were going to kill and what herbs we were going to mash up. And we broke up, and I'm lazy. I don't want to play the game. So, and I didn't need the boyfriend because I could just watch Let's Plays. And that's kind of how it came about. I realized, I can just watch other people do this and I don't have to do it. So I'm really, really obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's. If anybody else is, I think they're absolutely fantastic games. And so I really got into Markiplier, watching him play these games, who is a self-appointed king of Five Nights at Freddy's. And what's really fascinating about watching somebody else play a horror game is their fear is kind of channeled through you as well. So you get this kind of additional layer where you're scared, they're scared, and then there's a jump scare, and you're all just kind of like, blah! It's really, really fun. So Five Nights at Freddy's is a really interesting game. I could talk about it for ages, and I kind of hinted at it in my previous talk about the kind of folklore of the game. Scott kind of creating this whole roster of horrible things, and other people getting on board with that and creating their own versions of them. And what's really interesting with Five Nights at Freddy's is loads of people have made like fan games, so they either use the characters from the game or they generate their own versions of it. So The Joy of Creation is a really interesting 3D roaming survival horror game version of Five Nights at Freddy's. And like a nerdy thing with the quote, it's taken from a piece of audio from the original game that someone edited to get the words out from it, which is what The Joy of Creation is. So anyway, I'll stop talking about that. But what's interesting about Five Nights at Freddy's and with horror games is they're focused on immersion rather than skill. So they're tailor-made for Let's Plays because it's about you experiencing it with somebody else. When they shock the streamers, like I said before, it's humorous and you're scared and they're scared and it's so much fun. And the interesting thing about, with me watching somebody else play it, is I have access to a game that I wouldn't maybe have access to, and also people who might have discomfort from playing a scary game, you can kind of dip in and out of this and watch the bits that you want to watch, and that's what's kind of interesting to me about Let's Plays. So then, I really love Harshly Critical. It's a YouTube channel that predominantly just plays horror games. I mean, he says horror and adventure, but he just plays horror games. And what's really fun about Harshly Critical is he'll play good horror games. And it gives you an opportunity to see like how a horror game can work really well. He has a wealth of experience from playing loads and loads of horror games, so as he's playing a game, he'll say to you, oh, this is interesting because this is referencing from this is something that came from that. He recognises assets from games, so it's really fun when he plays a good game. Shout out to Dead End Road, which is a superb driving horror game. If you haven't played it or seen it, please check it out. House of Abandon is another amazing mini Jam Gam horror game that came out that he plays. And what's really fun when he's playing this, I could be asked to like put anything because you won't experience it the same way, but as like the tension of the game is building up, you can feel it while he's feeling it as well. And when like the kind of peak bit in the game where it all clicks, you're like, ah! And you experience it with him, and that's really like an absolute treat. Just wanted to do a shout out to a not me! So what I realised I like even more than that is when he plays a shit game. When he plays a shit game, you actually kind of begin to pinpoint why a horror game isn't good. You can start to see how the plot doesn't work or the voice acting isn't right. And if you are anybody who's interested in making horror games, I recommend you watch shit horror games or play shit horror games because you can learn a lot from them. So this is the first video that I watched that got me addicted to this. It's called The Lake of the Blind Mannequin, and it's a Five Nights at Freddy's fan-made game. And what's really fun about this video is John is like so super excited to play it. He just watched the trailer, and like as he's playing it, he slowly starts to realize it's not the game he thought it was going to be. He starts to kind of get really upset. And the voice acting is terrible, and the jump scares are really bad, and I was like, oh my god, I love this. Apartment 666 is another example of that. This is a superb, as of many horror games right now, is a PT fan-inspired game with the looping corridor. So many people are making games inspired by PT, which PT is a fantastic game, but they're not getting why it's good, and it's not just because it has a looping corridor. So I just wanted to play a clip from this game that I absolutely love.
It's on you between like.
Ah, so I go across here.
Yeah, but the opposite way to where you think you have.
Ah, you're trying to trick me. Okay.
It's Halloween. Halloween.
Halloween is not an answer to anything. I hope this is.
Alright, here we are in the world's darkest bedroom with the world's crappiest lights.
Dad, I'm awake. Any breakfast, toast, cornflakes? Mom, Dad, any breakfast, toast, cornflakes?
Any breakfast, toast, cornflakes? You want to
What's really funny about that now is that he'll reference that like, in other games now when you hear bad voice acting, you'll be like, breakfast, house, complex. It's such a kind of point where you're like, they're just not getting it right. Right, let me get back. So Deceit is also a game, if you're at home, you're drinking some beers or you're just hanging out and you've got some friends around, please put this game on. It's absolutely terrible, but it's also absolutely brilliant. It's got some kind of The Room vibes, but the game is kind of beautifully rendered, and then yet when he goes inside the house, the rain is coming inside of the house, and he's using, people who create the game, they use clip art, but they haven't sized it properly, so when you pick up a key, like a massive weird 3D key appears. John's just kind of going, oh god! And he's kind of really starting to lose it and get really upset that he's just playing these games that are just absolutely terrible. So I then wanted to play a clip of this one where it's just like the peak point where he's absolutely losing it.
Let me tell you the story.
So this is the game, the actual video of the game.
One was named John, he was plucky and he left their line of pieces. The other one is named Jack and was a sissy. He liked playing on this game so like it, baby. Those two random people were going to save humanity from the zombies. You ask? Well, with the power of the deep sea master race, this, my friends, is the story of the zombie tacos.
What happened to my life? Can I really keep going? So many bad games on Steam and they just keep coming. Am I really making a difference? There's just gonna be more terrible games the next day. There's no end to them. Why am I doing this?
Why? 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 Chapter 1, you are
Yeah, I love
playing...
how that just goes on for a bit too long as well. So yeah, it's got to a point now where he's making reaction videos to just how terrible these games are. So I've talked about Let's Plays. I think we all get the concept of Let's Plays. But I have watched people play Let's Play games. So I'm watching a Let's Play of a Let's Play. So the first one that I watched was Game Grumps did YouTubers Life, and it was just so odd to watch YouTubers playing a game that's meant to be what they're doing, making videos and uploading them to YouTube, and it's YouTubers uploading it to YouTube, and I'm doing the talk about YouTubers and it's going to go on YouTube. And then I watched John plays PewDiePie's Tuber Simulator. So it's a Let's Play game made by a Let's Player, played by a Let's Player on a Let's Play channel. It's all very meta and it's all very silly. And I think the point I want to make from this is I don't feel like TV can do this. I think TV is trying to do this. I think TV's got Gogglebox going on, but there's shit like this going on, which is kind of really fun and silly. So we have like Let's Plays, and Let's Plays, but I want to talk about like Let's Just Play. So I hope we all have some love for precious children out there.
Yay.
Yeah, precious children! So if you're not aware, I'd love to recommend Monster Factory. It's Polygon, Griffin, and Justin McElroy. And what they're doing in this game is, well, it's not a game, this is kind of what's interesting to me, is they're playing the character creator sections of games. So this is a really fun one, the Sims one. And they're trying to create a monster. The factory is trying to make these horrible, weird monsters. So the videos are kind of these transformative processes where they're playing around with the sliders and trying to make something really grotesque. And they're using improv to kind of make funny jokes about what the character looks like, and it's kind of really interesting. It's kind of, for me, I think it's like a high concept of, like, Let's Plays are just a traditional linear game, and with this they're kind of playing around with the game and then making humor and, you know, something you want to watch out of that. I'm kind of coining it sandbox humor. And yeah, they use the tool, like the Monster Factory tool, to make comedy, which is really, really interesting to me. So, also, like, another step on from this Let's Play idea is Carboys. Carboys is amazing. If you haven't watched it, go and watch Carboys. Carboys is Justin from the Monster Factory and Nick, the two work for Polygon, and they're playing BNG.Drive, which is a very strange car game. And it's kind of one step on from the Monster Factory, where Monster Factory is using different games and then playing around with the character and making you laugh. But this, they're playing the same game every time, but it has limitless opportunities of how they play with the cars, how they play with the environment, how they make humor from that. They make their own in-jokes that you're kind of a part of. So, Brian Feldman from New York Magazine said, "This is the funniest new show this season that's not happening on your television screens." And that's what's interesting about Carboys, is I don't think it could exist on TV. It's on YouTube, and it's the funniest shit. But I do want to make a point that maybe channels like the Thanos channels, if anybody watches that, it's doing what Carboys is doing, but it's not doing it to such a refined point. They're playing around in Gary's mod, and they're making silly contraptions, and they're being stupid boys. But the humor isn't the same way as what Carboys is. So I think it's interesting how this kind of humor and this idea of play within YouTube and Let's Plays is progressing. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was Let's Plays, but now people are discussing, and they're discussing on YouTube, and they're discussing as part of their Let's Play channels. Oh, I did miss a point out. Let's Plays channels, the point I wanted to make as well is that they're doing more than just playing a game. You can't just be a streamer. You have to do more than that. You have to show more of the game, you have to show more care. You bring your personality and you bring your knowledge to it, and that's what's kind of accelerating particular Let's Plays, particular YouTubers, and making them interesting. They're memorializing these games, and they're giving access to those who wouldn't have them. And they can give you an opportunity to appreciate more obscure games, like BMG.Drive, I don't think I would ever discover. So yeah, Let's Discuss is an interesting angle. John from Harshly Critical has created a section. He started making these videos. It says, John rants in a series where John rant, and I don't have time to talk about what he talks in these videos, but he talks about views to sub ratios is bullshit, YouTube relevancy, and it's actually in this video that he admits he needs to start making different types of videos because he believes the Let's Play bubble is going to pop. He talks about YouTube's ad-friendly guidelines, YouTube heroes, and just recently he did a reaction video which he has never done before, which he did to the Nintendo Switch. So actually in Markiplier, he plays a lot of horror games as well, so the first time ever I did a video where he talked about Five Nights at Freddy's. He's always going on about that he's the king of Five Nights at Freddy's, but this was the first time. It's actually over a 2-hour-long video where he sits down with a friend and just talks about the folklore of the game, the characters, the timelines, the things that happened in Sister Location that just came out. And I think that was a really interesting move for his Let's Play to do. He'd never done that before. He pieces together opinions as he's playing games, but this was the first time he actually just sat down and just talked about a game. So this interesting aspect of not only just playing games, not only just talking about games, adding more to them, adding more value, adding this additional layer where you're not only just experiencing the game, you're experiencing somebody else experiencing the game. You also can have people who set their own limits to a game.
So Griffin's been playing a Nuzlocke run of Pokemon, which I think is really interesting. They're kind of the rules of the game. So you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter in each area. If that Pokemon is one you've caught before, you may keep searching until you first encounter with a new Pokemon. And if your Pokemon faint, you must deposit them in your PC and release them, no exceptions. I think there's some other rules, but it makes A, for an interesting game, and B, for a really interesting Let's Play. And watching him have to tackle with letting Pokemon go that he's fallen in love with is so much fun. It's so dark and evil and fun. So I now want to talk about the Let's Play community. For me, I'm a massive big fan of this channel. If you haven't watched it, it's so much fun. Hot Pepper Gaming, people review. So Hot Pepper Gaming consists of other YouTubers. Vernon Shaw, who runs it, invites other YouTubers in, and they review a game just before eating a super fucking hot, spicy pepper. And it's so much fun watching them sweat and struggle, and he's had Andrew WK on this, and he does not falter. What's interesting about this is that he's actually using the community, and the community is coming together to create a channel. It's not one person who pushes everything on this. They come on and it promotes other YouTubers. You get to see what other YouTubers are like. They kind of go, oh, follow me, I do this, I do that. And it's a really interesting thing for a YouTube channel to do, where it's actually working together with other people. And I wanted to talk about Game Grumps, even though they're not a horror channel. They will play horror games now and then. But it's a channel now that when you actually look at the videos they're producing, they're pretty much all Let's Plays, but they have a huge roster of entertainers that they're switching in and out. So you have Aaron, who set the channel up, who's kind of the guy behind it all, who did work with JonTron, who left. But now he has Danny, he has Barry, he has Ross, he has Susie. He has loads of different people all working in a studio in LA, producing all of these videos. And I think that's a really interesting aspect of Game Grumps and Let's Plays. And what Game Grumps are doing right now that is really interesting to me is they're taking digital, they're not being just digital anymore, they're coming out into the physical realm. So very recently they made this video about, they actually put on an exhibition of all the artwork that they drew from the Pokemon Art Academy series that they did. It's superb. And if you watch the channel, Aaron goes on and on and on about Wendy's and how they never get sponsorship from Wendy's. And they finally get a letter from Wendy's, and it's only for a couple of vouchers. So they call on the community, the Game Grumps community, to kind of like ramshack a Wendy's. And it's so clever that it's like the digital community comes out to support physically, but then it's recorded and then put back digitally into the community. So they support the community and the community supports them. And I feel like the whole thing is just a circle going round and round and round and round. They're also doing live shows, so there's an opportunity to actually see the Game Grumps live. And I think that's a really clever and interesting thing for a Let's Play channel to do. You generally watch them at home, you just watch them on your computer, but they're actually monetizing the fact that you can pay and go see them live, and you already know you like them because you've seen them online for free. So guys, I feel like you can't do a talk about Let's Plays if you don't talk about PewDiePie. PewDiePie has 48 million subscribers. But if you actually look, I took this screen grab the other day, he's not really doing just Let's Plays anymore. I feel like I've shown with the other channels, they're diversifying and not just doing Let's Plays. But a really interesting thing just a few days ago was he started another channel because he made a video that his golden play button was broken. He was like, YouTube won't send me another one, so I'll tell you what, I'll just start another channel, and when you get 1 million, you get gold play. So he made a new channel and it immediately got over 1 million subscribers. So his community is supporting him and he's supporting them. I guess you could question, how is he supporting them? He's making them laugh. But he also, like all the other YouTubers, do a lot of charity work, and they raise a hell of a lot of money for charity. So I wanted to end on Markiplier recently reached 15 million subscribers. He made this video to talk about his Diamond Let's Play, which he actually broke. But you can see in the background he's got a really nice TV, the sofa looks great, the lighting looks good. He's converted a loft area into a studio space. So he has Tyler on board to be his manager to help him produce videos, and essentially he's become a TV channel. I was kind of really like, I hate TV, but these people are TV. They are little mini TV channels.
me just get my notes. So, yeah, he even says in this, like, it's an opportunity for him to do good for the world and make bigger and more stupid videos. So this is why I connect way more with YouTube. I'm having way more fun watching YouTube than I ever was when I was watching TV. I'm able to actually connect with who these people are and why they're creating stuff. And I don't feel like I've ever been able to do that with producers and filmmakers for other things like Netflix. So this medium, I feel like YouTube is capable of so much more, and it's the same medium, it's still video. But TV isn't doing this. I don't think TV and Netflix is achieving this. Gogglebox has only just come out, and I feel like YouTube's been doing this shit for like a really long time. So kind of the talk is about YouTube's doing some pretty cool shit right now. And that's my talk. Thank you.